Since the reveal of Modern Warfare 2, what I've been doing on the channel is diving into all of the old characters' backstories from Modern Warfare 2019. We started off with Captain Price. Last week we dove into Alex, a character who has not yet been revealed to be in Modern Warfare 2. Now today's is a little bit different because we are diving into Farah Karim, who has been approved to be in Modern Warfare 2. I saw her when I went to Infinity Ward early in one of the missions that we saw, just very briefly. And on top of that, as one of the pre-order bonuses for the Red Task Force 141 pre-order bonus, Farah is a part of that and you get a skin for her. So we know she's in the game, we just don't yet know as to what capacity. What I will say about Farah is an amazing example of how to write a good backstory for a Call of Duty character. And that is what we're going to be diving into today, the full story of Farah Karim so far. But before we do that, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. So today's video is sponsored by Sheath, which are boxers designed to keep your balls off your legs. Traditional boxer briefs are barbaric and were designed way back in the Neanderthal era. Sheath has a more modern and ergonomic design intended to reduce skin-to-skin contact for long durations, therefore making it less sweaty and more cool down there. Essentially, Sheath is the holy grail of underwear. If you take a look at the inside, there are two separate compartments, one inverted kangaroo pouch for your Joey and the other one for your balls. Now, another cool thing about this is that Sheath was invented by a US Army veteran on his second tour to Iraq. Things are obviously super hot over there, so he invented these to keep his Johnson off his leg, reduce heat, and of course because of that, reduce sweat and smell as well. And what I will tell you is I'm wearing a pair right now. The best part about it is it does stay so much cooler, therefore less sweaty down there. And now is a perfect time to pick yourself up some underwear because since it's summer, it is much hotter out and you probably want things to stay cool down there. Sheath also has super fast shipping, so your order should also arrive in just a couple days. So if you're like me and want to keep your boys a little bit more comfortable down there, a little bit cooler throughout the summer, you can check out the first link down below, which is sheathunderwear.com/Inkslasher. And if you use code Inkslasher at checkout, you can save yourself 20%. So make sure you go check it out. First link down below, use code Inkslasher, save yourself some money, keep your boys cool, and be really comfortable down there. And thank you, Sheath, for sponsoring the video.
Mama, please wake up, Mama.
Farah Karim's story starts out in one of the darkest ways we've ever seen for a character within Call of Duty. We start off in the year 1999, 20 years before the events of Modern Warfare 2019. At this time, Farah is 7 years old and it takes place in Rizabi, Urzikstan. But essentially what is going on is Russia is invading Urzikstan and Farah was in a building explosion with her mother. You wake up to find her mother laying beside you, dead, followed up by you getting pulled out of the building and grabbed by your father. After this, your father returns you home where a gas attack is currently going on within Urzikstan, being brought forward by Russia and the leader Roman Barkov. And just when you think things can't get any worse, you and your brother Hadir are in your home trying to pack your things to get out of Urzikstan when this happens to your father.
There's no one. It's only my children, please.
Just like that, within 5 minutes, Farah has been orphaned. Now, after you sneak through the house and manage to take out the bad guy, you and your brother Hadir try to escape Urzikstan, working your way through fields and eventually making your way to a vehicle. And when everything finally seems to be going your way, things take another turn.
Let's get out of here. I'll drive.
Отбейте его!
Let go! Let go! No! Get off me!
So you're the little devils that killed my soldiers. Отлично.
We then jump forward 10 years later. At this point, Farah is still being held captive by Roman Barkov. At this point, you're in a place called Tobrak, Urzikstan, and essentially during this mission, Roman Barkov once again comes in to interrogate Farah. You see the really horrible conditions of the prison, but you also find out about a commander, someone named Commander Karim. And essentially who this person is the commander of the Urzikstan Liberation Forces, in other words, the people fighting against Russia within Urzikstan. Now, as we find out throughout this mission, the person actually doing this is none other than Farah Karim. Now, at this time, she ends up getting a key to a weapons cabinet, and her and Hadir end up mounting an escape through the prison, and by the very end, you get a surprise visit from someone who Commander Karim has been in contact with.
Who's Commander Karim?
I'm Karim.
We got your messages.
Lieutenant Joe Price. Where are the others?
In there. Straight ahead.
Stay close.
So after the mission ends, Farah ends up escaping and going back to Urzikstan to lead the Urzikstan Liberation Forces against Roman Barkov. Captain Price lets her know that he'll be in contact, and that definitely does happen, but another 10 years later. So we are then in the year 2019, and at this point we can kind of understand the frustrations from Farah. Roman Barkov has killed her father, her mother, and obviously she has a deep-seated hatred towards Russia. But on top of this, 10 years later, there's been an extremist group established branching off of the Urzikstan Liberation Forces by the name of Al-Qatala, and the leader by the name of the Wolf, a terrorist. At this point, the CIA decides to get involved in this war and sends the asset by the name of Alex to assist Farah Karim. Now, we're at first very skeptical of working with Alex. Eventually, the two start to get to know each other and have very similar values. Throughout several missions, you go through hunting down the Wolf, and eventually he is captured. Now, upon being captured, the Wolf is taken to the embassy, where he is to be interrogated by Captain Price, Farah, Alex, Gaz, basically the whole crew's there. But as we know, things don't end up going so well. There ends up being an attack on the embassy, and by the end of the mission, Omar Suleiman, aka the Wolf, ends up escaping. So what ends up happening is Alex, alongside Farah and Hadir, end up going to the Highway of Death, essentially the only way in or out of Urzikstan, to try to stop Omar Suleiman from escaping. Upon getting there, things get a little bit overwhelming with the Al-Qatala army, and eventually Hadir ends up taking things to some very extreme measures, and we find out a little bit more about him than you'd further expect.
Russian gas.
Yes! And now we send it back to the Russians! The gas masks are in the bunker! Come quickly!
Get off of me! How could you do this?
We had no choice, Farah. All bets are off now.
No, not like this.
Sister. Alex. Listen to me. I stole the gas from the Russians. To help us, only to help us. Tell Farah. Tell her, Alex.
So yes, where Farah has a deep-seated hatred for Russia, it goes even further with Hadir, to the point where he committed war crimes. So Farah's job is now not over. Not only does she have to track down the Wolf, but now also track down and stop Hadir, her brother. But first things first, they track down the Wolf. So Farah and Alex end up stopping the Wolf together, the leader of Al-Qatala. But upon returning to base, they get an interesting memo from Colonel Norris.
As much as we can all hear the ice in the glass, I'm afraid our toast has to wait. Hadir and his new friends are on the move.
What are they?
One step at a time.
No one said they're friends.
The general would tend to disagree.
Norris, I asked you to let me
Tell
handle-
him, Laswell.
or I will.
Command has officially redesignated Farah's forces.
You want to translate that from bullshit to English?
It means they're on the list.
What list?
Foreign terror organization list. I've ordered my Marines to treat Farah's army as hostiles.
What? They're our allies.
Yeah, not anymore.
You keep your muppets on a short string, Colonel.
Or what?
I'll fucking earn you from it.
Kate, these people need our support.
There's nothing else we can do.
Well, there's plenty we can do.
Now, a couple of interesting notes there. First of all, the Urzikstan Liberation Forces are now considered terrorists because of Hadir's actions. After this, Captain Price and Gaz go and hunt down Hadir and capture him. However, Alex goes and joins Farah fighting for the Urzikstan Liberation Forces. In other words, doing what he thinks is right. The other thing you may have missed there is that these orders and the classification of the Urzikstan Liberation Forces as terrorists came from the General Shepard. Something we'll talk about in a future video. So after capturing Hadir, Farah and Alex are still fighting in Urzikstan, now against Marines, on top of that against Al-Qatala and Roman Barkov's forces as well. They're very busy, but at this point, Captain Price needs their help. They are to storm Roman Barkov's gas facility, and they need the help of Alex and Farah, so Captain Price shows up in Urzikstan to once again ask his friends for help. One last hoorah, if you will. Their mission is to take out the gas facility by blowing it up with a remote detonator and take out Roman Barkov. Upon getting there into the building, they find out that the detonator is broken. So they have two options. Either Farah can blow up the facility or Alex can. And in a really heartfelt talk, Alex ends up making this decision.
Clear! What happened?
Detonator's fucked.
It's dead. I'll go in there.
And do what?
Ignite the furnace.
You'll never get away in time.
I know what I'm doing.
Farah, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. Because of this poison, my people have known something worse than war. I did not come this far to turn back.
I'm not asking you to turn back. I'm asking you to give me the order.
I won't do that.
Commander, please.
I am not your CO.
Then who is? Because someone needs to light this fire and someone needs to kill Barkov. And you can't do both. I've been an assignment my whole life. This is what I believe in. Give me the order.
You are a freedom fighter, Alex.
You're a born leader, Farah. Say the word.
Go.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck.
So Alex ends up making the decision to go in himself to blow up the facility and stop some of the pain for the Urzikstan people. Meanwhile, Farah ends up sneaking onto Roman Barkov's helicopter. At this point, Farah gets one final face-off with Roman Barkov, and this time, let's just say things don't go Roman Barkov's way. So with Roman Barkov being taken out by Farah, it kind of puts an end to Roman Barkov's forces. On top of that, with Alex ending up taking out the gas facility, things have taken a big turn for the Urzikstan Liberation Forces. However, there is still one big problem. Al-Qatala is still there, they're still extremists, and they're still causing problems for the Urzikstan people. This is a problem that never gets solved by the end of Modern Warfare 2019. However, at the same time, this is the problem that they face post the campaign in Modern Warfare 2019 throughout the various seasons that were launched. And by the end of the Warzone story, we see Task Force 141 be put together, a team of essentially elite soldiers put together by Captain Price, a series of soldiers that we will see continue within Modern Warfare 2. Now, with Task Force 141 returning within Modern Warfare 2, we are expected to see more of Farah. At what capacity or how much and how her story will play out, I don't know. However, what I will say is this is one of the best backstories ever written into a Call of Duty game. Most of the time, you don't get to find out about their upbringing, the motivations behind a character, but with Farah, you do. You see her hatred towards Roman Barkov, how her integrity forces her to lead the Urzikstan Liberation Forces, and I'm curious to see where her story goes moving forward within Modern Warfare 2. But as far as today, that is the full story of Farah Karim so far. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe and have notifications to stay up to date on all my videos. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are